Hello everyone, this is Andy Nicol, the course tutor for the Perfectly Spoken Advanced course. And in this lesson, lesson 51 in the course, we're going to be looking at the grammar area of distancing. And I'll explain in a minute what it's about. As always, this is a C1 level course on the Common European framework. And if you're more familiar with IELTS, 7.5 on the IELTS scale. Okay, so without further ado, let's have a look at distancing then. So we're going to look at the use of the words seem, the verb seem and appear. We're going to look at passive reporting verbs, and then we're going to rewrite some sentences to distance the speaker from the statements that are made and so on. So, first of all, seem or appear. If you want to make a statement but would like to distance yourself from the information to suggest that you're not completely sure whether or not the statement is accurate or is correct, etc., we can use the verb seem and appear. And here's the form. It seems or it appears that plus a clause. Clause obviously is subject, verb, etc. For example, it appears that the car has been stolen. Here we're suggesting that we're not entirely sure that it has been stolen, but it seems that it has been stolen. Or we can use subject plus seem or appear and an infinitive. You appear to be lost. Can I help you? So both these structures perform the same function to distance the speaker from the statement being made, to introduce an element of uncertainty, etc. To distance ourselves even further, we can use the following. It would seem or it would appear that plus clause. For example, it would seem or appear that you have made a big mistake. It's also a little bit more formal than it seems appears, but it also distances the speaker further from the statement that's been made. Okay? So that's seem and appear. Another way that we can distance ourselves from statements and so on is to use passive reporting verbs. We actually looked at these structures in lesson 48 at advanced features of passives, but here we want to look at them in terms of distancing. So, for example, we can use passive forms of verbs such as say, think, etc. to distance ourselves from the facts. This is a feature particularly common in written English rather than spoken English. So we can use it plus passive verb, that plus clause. Passive verb obviously, say, think, understood, and so on. It is believed that the driver will make a full recovery. It's believed that the driver will make a full recovery, as opposed to people believe that the driver will make a full recovery. It has been announced that the president will meet the North Korean leader soon. Quite a topical one at the moment. Typical reporting verbs used in this way include agree, announce, believe, expect, hope, say, suggest, and think. We can also use other structures for distancing. Subject plus passive verb plus to plus infinitive. And these are typically used with the verbs believe, expect, report, say, think, and understand. Some examples. The minister is expected to make an announcement any time soon. The minister's subject is expected, passive verb, to make the infinitive with to. The climbers, subject, are understood, passive verb, understand in this case, an infinitive, to have left base camp around noon. Okay. And then a further structure that we can use is with there. So it's there plus passive verb plus to and infinitive. For example, it is thought there are a number of pickpockets operating in the area, is the structure that we looked at originally. We can also say there are thought to be a number of pickpockets operating in the area. So I'm going to reveal some sentences now, and I'd like you to decide what the missing word is in each sentence. And obviously, if you want, you can pause the recording at any time. So here's the first one. It something that the cyclist injured in the accident will make a full recovery. So we can only use one word to complete these, because obviously you could say it is believed, etc., but we want to only use one word. And of course, pause the recording if you need time to think. It seems, or it appears, that the cyclist injured in the accident will make a full recovery. It something seem that he has no intention of ever paying them back. Somebody's obviously borrowed some money and it doesn't look like he's going to ever pay them back. So if we want to further distance ourselves from the statement, we can say it would seem that he has no intention of ever paying them back. Here's the next one. The bite marks are something to have been caused by a wolf. So people think that the bite marks are caused by a wolf. The bite marks are thought or believed to have been caused by a wolf. Number 4. Something I've thought to be a number of people who have as yet not received any compensation. So obviously something bad has happened, somebody has been negligent, an organization, etc. The courts or whatever have said that they have to pay compensation. And we can say there are thought to be a number of people who have as yet not received any compensation. Have as yet meaning up to now. Okay. Number 5. Our manager something to think that we can finish the project in 2 weeks. Pause the recording, as always, if you need time to think. And here we could say our manager seems to think that we can finish the project in 2 weeks. Number 6. The woman is believed something have gone missing in the early hours of Sunday morning. So remember the form: subject, passive verb, infinitive. So obviously we need to complete the infinitive. The woman is believed to have gone missing in the early hours of Sunday morning. Number 7. It is understood something there will have to be a recount of the votes cast in the local election. So people have voted in a local election for different candidates and the votes are very, very close. So there has to be a recount. They have to count the votes again just to check who is the winner of the election. And of course it is it plus reporting verb, passive reporting verb, plus that plus clause. It is understood that there will be a recount of the votes cast in the local election. Okay, so let's make it a little bit more challenging now. and basically do some sentence transformations. This is a typical exercise you might do in the advanced exam. So here you've got some surgeons, and it says, we understand that the surgeon will be struck off for malpractice. That means he will have his license removed. He will not be able to practice as a surgeon anymore because he's done something terribly wrong. So using the verb understood, the form understood, how could we complete this sentence? As always, please pause the recording if you need some time to think. So it's it plus passive reporting verb plus that plus clause. It is understood that the surgeon will be struck off for malpractice. Number 2. People believe that the man is in his late 40s. Late 40s meaning 47, 48, 49, etc. The verb be. So in this case, we've got subject. Okay, so we need to use subject, passive verb plus infinitive. The man, subject, passive verb, is believed, infinitive, to be in his late 40s. The man is believed to be in his late 40s. The government appears to be about to make another U-turn. Okay, they've got this policy. They said, right, we're going to do this, and then suddenly they say, no, we're not, or we're going to do the exact opposite. It's called a U-turn. U-turn literally is when you're driving to change the direction 180 degrees, 360 degrees turn. The government appears to be about to make another U-turn with would. So remember, we have the further distancing with would, and it would appear that the government are about to make another U-turn. They're going to completely change the policy or tear up the policy that they've got. It would appear that the government are about to make another U-turn. Okay, let's have a look at some more. A packet of cigarettes there. People expect the Chancellor to raise taxation on tobacco in the budget. So the government want to raise taxes and also at the same time dissuade people from smoking. So it's a tax on cigarettes. We've got the verb expect in the form expected. So remember, if we start with the subject, then we have passive reporting verb, then infinitive. The Chancellor is expected, passive verb, to raise infinitive taxation on tobacco in the budget. The budget is the basically what the statement of what the government are going to, what money the government will spend on different policies and how much they're going to put into the National Health Service in the UK and so on taxes, etc. Number 5. It is thought that there are a number of possible causes for mass extinction. Apparently, in the history of our planet, there have been 3 periods or 2 or 3 periods of mass extinction when millions or thousands of millions of species have disappeared. The most famous one, obviously, when the dinosaurs were wiped out in 65 million years ago or whatever. And some people argue that we are currently going through another period of mass extinction. Anyway, verb to be here. And here we're starting with there. So remember, it's there plus passive verb plus infinitive. So the verb is thought, there, are thought, infinitive, to be, a number of possible causes for mass extinction. Could be climate change, meteors hitting the planet, etc., etc. Number 6. A sportsperson for the club, for the football club or whatever, has announced that there will be a minute's silence for ex-manager who sadly passed away. Sorry, I should say the ex-manager who sadly passed away last week. So passed away means died. It's a polite way to say died. A minute's silence is people remain silent for a minute out of respect for someone who has passed away, who has died. Okay, so with been, the form of the verb is been. It. And then you have the passive form of the verb. So we've got present perfect, has announced. So has been announced by a spokesperson that there will be a minute's silence for the ex-manager who sadly passed away last week. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson. For this lesson, lesson 51. In the next lesson, lesson 52, we will be looking at a vocabulary area. We're looking at language associated with age, expressions with age, idiomatic expressions about age, etc. So that's lesson 52, again with me, Andy Nicol. So I hope you found today's lesson on distancing useful. In lesson 53, we will return to distancing with looking at other ways that we can distance ourselves from statements. Thanks for listening as always, and take care. Bye-bye for now.